We're on? All right. I'd like to welcome everyone to the October 29th, 2020 meeting of the Delaware County Board of Commissioners. Would you please rise and join me in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. I'm Jeff Benton, President of the Board. To my right is Vice President Gary Merrill and our County Administrator Mike Fromer. To my left is fellow Commissioner Barb Lewis and Sarah DeNova, who's going to lead the meeting this morning. We can start.
Resolution number 20-962, in the matter of approving the electronic record of proceedings from regular meeting held October 26, 2020.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 20-962. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 20-963, in the matter of approving purchase orders, then and now certificates and payments of warrants in batch numbers CMA PR 1028 and memo transfers in batch numbers MTA PR 1028.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 20-963. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 20-964, in the matter of approving a transfer of appropriation for adult court services.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Good morning, Kay Baglione. Something got messed up in the in the process of, and we're just asking that appropriations be transferred from salary to cover health insurance and benefits.
Okay. Vote.
Vote on motion 20-964. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye. Thank
Okay.
you, Kay.
Resolution number 20-965, in the matter of approving the sanitary sewer improvement plans for Lowers Alum Creek Relief Pump Station and Force Main Project, Force Main Contract, and Lowers,
So moved.
and Lowers.
Oh, I thought you were finished.
Well, they had Force Main Project twice, it threw me. And Lower Alum Creek Relief Pump Station and Force Main Project Pump Station Contract.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Morning, Commissioners. Tiffany Mag, Director of Environmental Services. You think we could name these something a little simpler next time?
Yeah. Try.
This resolution is to approve the plan sets for both the Force Main contract as well as the pump station contract for Lower Alum Creek Pump Station. This was one of the projects that was identified as in the 2016 master plan. It takes in the entire western half of the Alum Creek tributary area, so it's a very large pump station capable of up to 14 MGD, and also a 24-inch diameter force main that will be the influent into Alum Creek treatment plant. The cost estimate right now for the pump station is at $6.8 million. Force main is $4.7 million for a total of $11.57 million. The project is going to be 6 months to complete the force main portion and about 1.5 years for the pump station portion.
When do you expect to start?
So we're going to bid the project. I'm going to be on next Thursday's session to set a bid date for the same project. We plan to open bids mid-December. Most likely would have a contractor out there as soon as they could break ground in the winter through the next 1.5 years.
Okay. All right. Vote, please.
Vote on motion 20-965. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 20-966, in the matter of approving change order number 2 with Polydyne Incorporated.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
So this is just extending our existing contract with Polydyne. This is the same unit price as they bid a couple years ago with us, 95 cents per pound. And this is our last 1-year extension. Next year we'll have to rebid the polymers. And typically we spend about $140,000 annually on the polymer.
Okay. Vote.
Vote on motion 20-966. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Thanks, Tiffany.
Thank you.
Resolution number 20-967, in the matter of approving a transfer of appropriation for building safety.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. You can take your mask off. We can hear you better. And the millions of people watching and listening can hear you better.
Exactly. We are asking for transfer of appropriations from our wages fund over to several others. The reasons for that are due to increased permit applications. So we are expected to pay more to the state for 1% and 3% assessments, as well as soil and water has increased permitting just because of the economy. So we need to move that money to pay those as we come down towards the end of the year.
Okay. All right, vote.
Vote on motion 20-967. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Thanks, Dwayne. I think that's the first time we've seen building safety in the title of a resolution, so
Yeah.
I think that's a nice step forward. Good to see it. Thanks, Dwayne.
Thank you.
Resolution number 20-968, in the matter of rejecting all bids for the 2020 Delaware Fiber Extension Project.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. Mike Fromer, County Administrator, stepping in for Steve Lewis on this. We received bids for fiber extensions for different facilities for the county as well as some of the neighboring partners. It was decided after looking at them, we had two proposals that took very different approaches to the project, and the cost was very wide-ranging, that the best solution would be to reject and kind of rethink the plan on how we want to do this. So, so we're requesting to reject the bids, all the bids that were submitted.
Come back later with maybe a different plan.
Yes.
Okay. All
Were
right.
these for any particular townships?
No, it was EMS, Regional Sewer District, and Preservation Parks,
Oh,
and the
okay.
Sheriff's Office were the main.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, vote.
Vote on motion 20-968. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 20-969, in the matter of approving the lease termination agreement by and between the Delaware County, Ohio Board of Commissioners and Big Lot Stores Incorporated and Ohio Corporation for the space located at 2081 U.S. Highway 23 North, Delaware, Ohio 43015.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Good morning, John Melvin, Director of Facilities. We were approached well over a year ago by the developer representing the Delaware Shopping Center about terminating the Big Lots lease so that they may move down there. So back, Brad Lutz and I had negotiated the deal for the lease termination, and we're recommending approval to terminate the lease.
I have a question, just out of curiosity. The family, I think it's a Family Dollar, are they taking over both of those locations, the old Kroger and the?
I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, my understanding that store is closing as well. And
It's already closed, I was just
yeah,
curious.
and you know, they're going for currently they lease about 35,000 square feet roughly, so they're going up to 43,000 square feet down there. So I'd assume they're going in a little bit of that space too. Originally this was anticipated to happen last February, their actual move, and obviously COVID and other things played into a factor. They're now ready to move forward. And they're anticipating the January, February timeframe to move out and move into the new location.
How many years, or what was the end date of the lease?
The ultimate end date on this lease was 2029. They had one more 5-year renewal option. That was solely up their option. So
So that
they were actually, they had just done a renewal for 5-year when we started this talks, and their current new renewal period goes through 2024. Yeah,
Okay.
which is January of 2024.
Okay, so they're paying us $126,000, $126,900.
Roughly equivalent to 10 months.
10 months,
rent.
okay, that's what I thought.
So
Now-
figure, January, February, and they'd be moving out, and they would pay the balance of the year.
So this is a good time, because this building is not one of our best uses, as we've discussed in the past. I think it's a good time to step back and see what we want to do with that building.
Yep. And we have some, obviously, this election has presented challenges for the Board of Election.
Sure.
They have a need for additional space, given what they had to do for the early vote center. And, yeah, it's definitely time to take a look at that as well. And, the new machines require a lot more warehouse space for the Board of Elections up there.
Yeah. And we were leasing it for about $13,000 a month then? If this.
Yeah, roughly. yeah,
So for 30,000 square feet, that's about $3 and some cents a square
it's like
foot.
about, yeah.
That's
Yes,
well
it's-
below market.
It's well below market.
John's heard, you've heard that from me a few times, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah. So,
They did have, there were net sales, incentives or, part of that, and they've never come close to reaching that, their net sales, even though they sell a lot out of that store. But, yeah, even the incentives weren't very favorable.
yep, okay. Well, again, good time to step back and figure out a long-term plan for this building, because we fully expected Big Lots to stay in there through 2029 because they had such a favorable lease, but I understand this would be a better location.
Better location with the campus and
Certainly.
that neighborhood, and, yeah, I think, honestly, it'll serve that area, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a good,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, and then fill up an empty center, right just south of downtown makes sense for the community, so. But again, anxious to figure out what we do with this building going forward. Vote, please.
Vote on motion 20-969. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 20-970, in the matter of approving supplemental appropriations.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. Karen First, Fiscal Manager. This supplemental appropriation is for the remainder amount of the CARES Act. It's mainly for the payroll expenses we're going to post back to the EMA, EMS, and the Sheriff's Office.
Good. Vote.
Vote on motion 20-970. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye. Thank you, Karen.
Thanks, Karen.
Resolution number 20-971, in the matter of delegating authority to the county administrator and other staff for certain administrative matters.
So moved?
Second.
Discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. Mike Fromer, County Administrator, and Tiffany Mag, Regional Sewer District Director, is also here to help answer any questions you guys might have. Over the process, I know one of the things that the Board of Commissioners has wanted to do is continue to evolve our practices to be more responsive to development as they continue to invest in our community. As we've worked on the processes for the last couple of years, there were 3 different points, in the process that were kind of identified that carried with it a week to 10-day delay. And they're really more just verifying that the developers have met with the sewer district policies and procedures. One is the plan approval. When the developers get the plans ready and complete, they're meeting all the specifications, they get Tiffany's sign off, and then they would wait to get your guys' approval. So that's included in this. Also, the acceptance, when the infrastructure is done to meet the guidelines of the sewer district, Tiffany and her office sign off on it, and then it would go to you guys for approval. This is also included. And then the subdividers agreements, which are standard that Eric reviews and has, we've set out a longstanding policy. That's the third item that is included in the process, where you would be delegating that authority to me to approve, which would save, 7 to 10 days on the process, each one of them. So, I don't know, Tiffany, if you have any.
Sure. Yeah, Tiffany Mag, Director of Environmental Services. So, in an effort to continue to keep you all informed, as Mike is, now going to be signing off on these items, I plan to give you guys weekly updates through email. So probably every Friday, I'll say, this is what's been approved this week. And then also come here once a month, the beginning of every month, and give you guys an update with a map that shows you what areas have had approvals, what those approvals have been, so that you can see, where these different subdivisions are reaching different steps in our process. Also, I've prepared a letter that I'm going to mail out to all of the development community, I guess maybe not all, but those who we have contacts for that do routine business with us, as well as the BIA, and the BIA plans to blast it out to their members as well. So we should see that everyone is getting this information and is up to speed on what's changing in the process. So and with that, any questions?
It's a great idea.
I have a comment. I think I can't think of a time where we've ever questioned one of these resolutions, or and it does delay the process for the developers by a week or 10 days or whatever. So I think it looks like it makes sense. The fact that you're going to update us, I think keeps us in the loop. Now, the question is, you got to maintain that updated over time. Sometimes those things get forgotten, but I think it's a win-win for everyone.
Yeah, I think it should be a really simple process for me. So with Track It, we're able to just go into the system and look at where the different approvals are. And this is going to be, according to our IT guy in my office, as simple as clicking a few buttons and it'll spit me out this map that I can come in. And so I guess what I'm saying is I think that process of me coming in monthly and giving that update is going to be something that it's going to be simple. It's not going to be a lot of work for us on our end where it'll be easy to keep doing that.
Yeah, I agree. I think getting monthly updates will keep us up to date on what's going on, which is very important because there's so much going on. It's really good that we get regular updates, and the map idea sounds like a great, straightforward, simple, and not extra work for you. And actually, this will make less work for you because you want to come in every day, or
It'll
every
be
session day.
and more informative for you all, that you can actually see it on a map versus, like you said, there's not a lot of questions on these items. It's more me telling you where they are. So me showing you where they are is even more helpful. So that's what the hope and the plan is. So we'll work through the process over the next couple of
And again, I
months.
think it's another one of those examples where we're trying to make government more responsive. Why delay things by 7 to 10 days when it really doesn't add any value in terms of reviews or so on? We're not experts.
Yeah, we're certainly appreciative on our end that the three of you are willing to do this, because it'll really help us out with, a lot of those developments that they need to turn over quickly and start breaking ground, and they don't want to wait that 7 to 10 days, which is, of course, it's the case very, very frequently. That's something that Mike and I have both dealt with over the past 4 or 5 years here, and I think they'll all be very appreciative of this.
Well, good. Okay. Vote.
Vote on motion 20-971. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye. Thank you.
Resolution
Debbie.
number 20-972, in the matter of adopting the Delaware County 2020 Community Enhancement Grant Program Guidelines, Terms, and Conditions in form of grant agreement.
So move.
Second.
Discussion?
Yeah, good morning, Commissioners. Mike Fromer, County Administrator again. As we discussed last week was revisions to the Community Enhancement Program to help our, service providers in the community, the social services providers, as well as some of the unique community resources. We've been working over the last week to put together the bones of the revised program. And just to kind of highlight the categories that this is going to be focused on is providing resources to organizations that are seeing an increased demand in services from the residents during the pandemic. Assist organizations that have been unable to conduct normal programming activities and events that they use those funds to generate to support their ongoing services, and to assist organizations that have incurred significant expenses associated with continuing their operation given some of the stay-at-home orders and responsible restart guidelines that the state has put out. So happy to answer any additional questions. I think it'll go live, and the deadline to submit is November 13th. I know we've been getting a lot of folks in the queue, and there's been a lot of questions, in anticipation of this program rolling out. So.
Yeah, maybe you could describe the process a little bit.
Yeah, so we'll be sending out the applications or the announcements to the newspaper, and they will engage and submit information to Clerk Sarah DeNovo with the information. The criteria is spelled out in the what they need to submit for the application. It's made very clear. In the past, there's been presentations that there will not be presentations, that the information will be scored and evaluated. Once we get the responses, one of the things that will need to occur is Eric and I will be looking at them to make sure that they fall within the guidelines of what's allowable in the program. And then those will be given to you all to score how we've done in the past for the Community Enhancement Program. So.
Yeah, I think time will be critical here. We need to move these things along quickly. because many of these organizations have been struggling for months now, and so time is very important. Comments?
And the-
Merrill, Commissioner Lewis?
Is the deadline then, okay, I noticed for community enhancement, that was the November 13th. Is that for all applications, including business? and-
Not for the small business.
Okay, yeah, because it
This is
seemed
for the
awfully
community
quick.
enhancement.
Yeah, okay, yeah, community enhancement. Thank you for your work on this. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a great use of funds to help the community.
Yeah, these are going to really help some important nonprofits in our community who, not their fault, they've been dramatically impacted by this. I think one point I'd like to make is that this is a one-time change to the Community Enhancement Grant. 2021, who knows at this point, but this is a one-time change to what historically the Community Enhancement Grant has been. So I didn't really have anything else. Again, I think criteria in the process are well thought out, well laid out, and hopefully we'll get them well communicated and get the responses in, the applications in very quickly, because there's a number of organizations that really need our help. So, Sarah, vote?
Vote on motion 20-972. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
And just administrative reports.
I have nothing further to report.
Okay. Commissioner Lewis?
Yes, I attended a virtual Bridges Community Action meeting last night, and statewide, the funding for the CARES Act was $55 million. I guess there are 47 community action organizations in the state, and our Delaware, it's actually six county group received over $1 million in CARE funds. So Delaware actually received the bulk of that. And so I know our community action person here in Delaware is going to be working on that. But we also offered a contract to our executive director who he's been on since January. Well, actually, I think since last December. And he has done an excellent job. And so we did offer him a 3-year contract. And so it has to be looked at by our attorney, but I was real glad he's done it. He's done a great job. And that's it.
Okay.
The only thing I had is reminded that regional planning is tonight, 6:30, so,
There's a lot on the agenda, too.
yeah, there's a lot on the agenda, and of course, I think there'll be some conversation about the budget, so hopefully it goes smoothly. It is virtual, but
Your favorite forum.
my favorite.
The only other thing I would mention is I had a tour of the building in downtown Delaware that Main Street is targeting to acquire and renovate. And it's the one on East William Street that's owned by the city. Main Street is doing fundraising to raise sufficient funds to renovate that building. It needs a lot of renovation. I don't know who all's been in it. I know Gary, you've been in it, but it needs a lot of work. But it would ultimately be a great location, a great addition to our downtown to get that one renovated and get Main Street in there. So anyway, that's all I have. We do have need for executive session.
We do. Resolution number 20
Oh, wait, Commissioner Lewis.
Our applicant is here for the interviews. Okay, so we do that anyway. You're right, sorry.
Resolution number 20-973, in the matter of adjourning into executive session for consideration of appointment of a public employee or public official for pending or imminent litigation for collective bargaining.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, vote?
Vote on motion 20-973. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
All right, we're now in executive session.
Great.
Sarah.
Yeah.
Resolution number 20-794, the matter of adjourning out of executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, vote?
Vote on motion number, let me correct that, 974. Mr. Vinton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, with no further business, we're adjourned.